So it looks like Labour is going to the next election still believing in the gender pay gap. Let's have a look. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. I thought we'd have a look at this article from 9 about Tanya Plibersek outlines Labour's plan to close the gender pay gap. Now, the gender pay gap does not exist. It is not a systematic, patriarchally imposed bias in pay against women. It is the result of lifestyle choices and the market demands for different industries. Labour is proposing to interfere in the market to level out the pay, and they don't seem to appreciate the fact it's probably going to hurt women more than anyone else. I'm just flabbergasted that people believe this rubbish. I think they're just voting for themselves. They don't see the bigger picture, and Labour will just do it to get votes. So the federal opposition has unveiled its plan to close the gender pay gap in industries dominated by women. Okay, if it wins next year's election. Labour has announced it will give the Fair Work Commission more power. So they're going to give more power to a bureaucratic organisation that interferes with your business life. It is very painful employing people in Australia. It's a lot of work. Often you can't have fair and reasonable conversations with people. You have to tiptoe around their incompetence. So they're going to do it to give pay increases for female employees in childhood, aged care and disability services. These are heavily regulated sectors that are heavily regulated by the government. So that removes opportunity for efficiencies whenever you get the government involved in an industry like this. This is not some crazy capitalist conspiracy. This is proven and evidence-based reality. The opposition says women are paid an average 23% less than men. In these industries or in general? See, this is where it's deceptive. Of course, childcare workers are going to get paid less than metal sheet fabricators, than architects, than other professionals, than the STEM field, because the skill level is not the same. These three industries here, does not require the same level of training and skill as a professional in the STEM industries. Even teachers, not the same level of skill as a professional in the STEM industries. And it's market demand. So if they up the childhood minimum wage, it's going to increase the cost of childhood. So it's going to make it less affordable for women, particularly at the lower socioeconomic rungs, to get in there. I don't understand. What we're trying to deal with here is differences with female-dominated and male-dominated industries. Yes, Plibersek, you are going to interfere in the free market and you're going to screw it up. You are going to hurt women more than anyone else. We know that women who work in the most female-dominated industries earn about $30,000 less on average per year than men in the male-dominated industries. Well, so what? You know, I've had years in my business where I've earned much more than the average and significantly less than the average. It's called the economy. That's life. You deal with it. But I don't think these people are living in reality, to be honest. They got their own little bubble. They've never experienced the challenges of actually running a business. The more red tape and BS you put on people, the harder it is. I'm at the point now where if I need extra capacity, I'm seriously tempted to offshore it or contract people, because then you have less of the rigmarole. So there's definitely an industry by industry difference. Yes, that's called the free market. They want to turn Australia into a socialist country. And that's never worked. Never in the history of mankind has it worked. If you think it has, you're a fool. It's that simple. If you think socialism or communism hasn't been tried or it wasn't the real one, you're an idiot. It's that simple. You need to learn more. But anyway, Miss Plibersek, oh, she's not even married, has poured cold water on attacks from Morrison government, which has accused Labour of being cocky ahead of the election. Well, yeah, it has. We've seen elections before, like the 2001 election, where Labour was close to winning and we lost, Miss Plibersek said. We don't take anything for granted. The reason we're having our conference here in Adelaide is because it's a socialist capital of Australia, where they're running out of power, and I've seen more homeless people on the streets than most other cities in Australia. Maybe that's just me. Is to make sure we're ready. We are prepared for government. It's probably because I could only afford to stay in cheap hotels, not where the politicians would stay. So let's watch this little short here from, just turn that up, from the Today Show.
The Labor Party has this morning announced its plan to close the gender pay gap by strengthening the ability of the Fair Work Commission to order pay rises for...
Wow. They're closing a fake gap by giving more power to the state. Am I the only one that's worried about this? Am I really the only one that's worried about this? You know what I know? What you've got people there who will vote Labor, families who will vote Labor, even knowing that it's completely not a BS, just because it'll be more money for them. They're essentially buying votes with this rubbish.
Workers in female-dominated industries. Deputy Labor leader Tanya Plibersek joins me now from the Labor conference in Adelaide. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Wait, is there going to be an Adani protester? Okay, guys, everyone, get your drink ready, because I watched Shorty's speech there. Let's see if we see an Adani protester appear in the background, or maybe Labor hasn't organised it for this event.
This sounds good in theory, but how will you put this into action?
How does it sound good in theory? It sounds terrible in theory. I remember when I was young thinking that, you know, people on TV actually were smart. I know better now.
Well, what we'll do is make it easier for the Fair Work Commission to order pay increases in female...
Is that someone's phone in the background with R2-D2? I think that's more funny than what she's saying. Or it's the NPC sounds coming from this Labor politician.
Dominated industries will have I
didn't plan that. This just happens to be here. What do you reckon? Should we dub out her voice and just have R2-D2? Give me a... let me know in the comments what you think. Is this how we can tell NPCs? Are we capturing a glimpse of the communication into the NPC mind?
Part of the commission that is expert in determining these issues. They'll be given the resources to do...
Oh, it's more state control of the economy. Why don't people realise this doesn't work? Shit. We're screwed. If Labor gets in, we're going to have a recession. Okay? It's going to be that simple. It'll be like Keating. It'll be going to be the recession Australia had to have again for equality. So we're all going to be bloody poor.
To research and investigate where there's gendered undervaluation of work, and they'll be able to order increases. The Commission will be able to take...
So you know what these businesses will do. If they've been ordered increases, they'll reduce hours, they'll reduce perk, they'll go through labour hire companies, they'll do anything they can to maintain profitability, or they'll up their cost to the consumer. Guaranteed. And most of these people that really depend on this stuff are in a vulnerable position.
Action based on recommendations from the government, based on applications from these industries, or...
Oh, good Lord. Recommendations from the government.
At its own initiative. And what we've seen in past years, we've got laws that make it possible for industries to take these sorts of actions, but we've only seen one success.
We've got a free market. We have a free market where people can pay and negotiate for what they want. If you have no skills other than a Cert 4, you're not going to be equivalent to someone who's got a bachelor degree or a master's degree, or who has years of experience, or a trade. If your job is the equivalent of what grandparents are expected to do for free, what the hell are people thinking?
Successful case so far, and that's in the area of the social and community sector, people who work in...
Is she married? Does she have kids? How would she know?
Refuges who work in drug and alcohol counselling or homelessness services, they got a pay increase. But this year, early childhood educators working in childcare centres were actually knocked back. And I think anybody who's ever visited a childcare centre would know that that industry, which is 97% female, but they work so hard, the work they do is so skilled, it's fanciful to think that those women aren't underpaid.
Now, targeting undervalued...
Well, I can't... She lives in Sydney with her husband, who is a senior public servant and current Director General of the Department of Family and Community Services, and their children. Okay, so they've got 3 kids. So how does she not understand this is going to make a difference? And why aren't they calling her Miss? Why are they calling her Miss, not Mrs.? You got it wrong there. Or maybe I'm reading it wrong. know. Well, see, this is it. It's a family that has no experience in running a business, making decisions on running businesses. That's the problem with these politicians. We need to have a quota. There's two things to deal with this. One, we need to have a quota of politicians that have to have at least 10 years experience running a business. Has to be 80%. Okay? Cap lawyers at 5% in there. Small to medium businesses. Okay? You need to get people that have put up with the BS that's coming from these parties. This is insane. It just shows a lack of understanding of reality. You're going to drive more businesses offshore. You're going to have more of the mega big businesses that can, manipulate and bribe and push for legislation to give themselves a competitive advantage. And you're going to just hurt the average Australian. Bloody hell. And the way to deal with this childcare issue? Really easy. Remove fringe benefit tax. Link it to people's pay packages. Allow businesses to make deals with childcare organisations to include it in someone's salary. Then you've got smarter approaches. Take it out of the hand of government, give it to the free market to find a solution. Bloody hell.
Valued, feminised industries, as you say, is one thing, but why not apply this to all industries?
Well, people can take action in their own workplace.
Oh, they already can. Huh.
Places, so you can, if you believe you're paid less than someone doing an equivalent job in your own workplace, of course you can make an individual complaint. What we're trying to deal with here are the differences between female-dominated and male-dominated industries, because we know that women who work in the most female-dominated industries earn about $30,000 less on average.
Because the work isn't as hard, it isn't as dangerous, it doesn't require the same level of education, the hours aren't the same, a lot of them don't work for or take gaps from their career before they come back. A lot of them don't want to take on the extra responsibility because they would rather spend time with their family like normal people. None of this is explained in this. This is just a vote grab. Bloody hell, they better not get in. Shit.
Per year than men in the most male-dominated industries. So there's
Am I the only one that's getting annoyed hearing this rubbish again and again and again? How can people believe this crap? And why isn't the reporter today, why isn't the reporter calling her up on this rubbish? Let's see if she does.
Definitely an industry by industry difference. And of course, if you're a man working in one of these industries and that industry gets a pay rise, of course you also benefit.
Yes, but if you're a man working in that industry, it means it's because of your choice, because of your education. Oh, bloody hell. Shit. Oh, I'm getting worried. People can't see through this.
Now, the Treasurer has accused Bill Shorten and Labor of being too cocky about your chances of winning the next...
So she didn't call her out on it. Why didn't you call her out on this? Why didn't you say, well, no, this is different industries, different education, different lifestyle choices? Why didn't you call her out on this? Or the fact that it's going to end up hurting women more than anyone else?
Next election, do you think you've got it in the bag?
We take nothing for granted. We've seen...
See, the thing is, I'm worried about Andrew's outcome. How Daniel Andrews got swept into Victoria with all the issues. There's no gang crime. There's gang crime. There's all these issues in Victoria and he's swept in. People don't care.
Elections before, like the 2001 election where Labor was close to winning and we didn't. We lost. We don't take anything for granted. And the reason we're here in Adelaide having our conference here is to make sure that we are ready. We are prepared for government, that we have the best policies to put
oh boy.
Forward to the Australian people next year.
All right, Tanya Plibersek, thank you for your time this morning.
Well, I'm not impressed at all in our reporter here. The fact that she didn't really challenge any of the statements that Plibersek made. Yeah, no. You get a cross from me there. You haven't done your job. You have not done your job. You need to be responsible to the community. You've got a privileged position. You need to challenge what the politicians are putting at you, because the average punter isn't going to put their time in to understand. They're just going to believe it. And that's going to harm them. That's going to harm them. That is your duty of care, I would say, as someone in a privileged position speaking to the public. So Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think this is all going to be squeaky clean? Do you think Labor will get in? Are you worried as I am that, or as a commenter mentioned on my live stream about Bill Shorten, we're all going to die? What do you think? Well, guys, have a Merry Christmas tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I have got a special video for you tomorrow after lunch. Bye for now.